Hello there, my name's Chris Dangerfield. Welcome to my channel. This is part 4 of Sex Tourist, Meth and Loathing in Patong. If you haven't seen the others, I suggest you do because this is a series. Okay, so I'm in this meth house. Everyone's got their drugs. Everyone's smoking it. I want to get my 2 ounces up my arse. I don't want to risk getting arrested in Patong with that. That's 10 years in the monkey house. Bye-bye. And what is someone like me going to do in the monkey house? Die? So I wanted Vaseline and cling film. They haven't got it. They've got sellotape and tiger balm. My arse is already clinching together. No, don't want it, don't want it. And they're having a field day because I'm wrapping up this meth. It comes in like a bag, so I've round the bag up and I'm putting sellotape around it. Now I realise I'm in trouble because, again, after the excitement of the gun and that, there's no energy left. The Valium are taking over. I've got to get home again. I can't collapse. Not here. Not with these people. They'll have the money. They'll have the Valium. They'll have the meth. They'll have the money. They'll remember I nearly killed them all, and they'll probably kill me and take me out the back. Well, take me out the back and then kill me. So I need to get home. So I'm trying to wrap this up. But every time I put sellotape over it, I'm basically making very sharp edges. And so then I'm going back along it. Now remember, I'm fucked. Logic and rationale are not occurring. And so as I'm doing it, I'm going back over it, trying to flatten out these razor sharp sellotape edges. But this is only having the effect of making the whole thing bigger. And as I'm doing it, I'm just refining sharp edges. If someone gave you 2 ounces of meth and some sellotape and said, make something to injure your anal canal, it would have looked like this. It's now, rather than being about that big, it's now the size of a Snickers bar. Fucking hell, man. I got this massive meth turd. And then, of course, it's time. So I cover it in the fucking tiger balm. I want nice, neutral, lovely Vaseline. No, tiger balm. It burns. For about 6 months after this, every time I farted, it felt a little bit cold. So I smear it. Now they're enjoying this. They're all sitting back. They've all had their pipes and they're just thinking, yeah, you stupid English cunt. You had this coming. You tried to kill us. So I'm sitting there. I've got my trousers down. And I'm sort of going, and it will not know. You know what it's like when you're having anal sex, when you have anal sex with someone who's either not well versed in anal sex, maybe an anal virgin, or just has got a tight arse, because arses are meant, they're an exit, they're not an entrance, they're an outdoor, not an indoor. They're not designed for it. So my experience, I'm not particularly into anal sex, but I have dabbled, and my experience is you're pushing and you're knocking on the door, and you can keep on knocking, but you can't come in. And you really push and you lubricate, and then all of a sudden, for whatever reasons, maybe a combination of physicality and psychology, I don't know, all of a sudden it sort of just yields and goes and sucks your cock in. Do you know what I mean? Can you identify it with that? Well, look at that. I just got off my seat for that. Well, it was kind of like that with the razor sharp sellotape, tiger balm, torture item I was shoving up my arse. I was like, and I could feel the claret or shit or what or both running down my legs, and everyone, they're all having a good laugh by this point. I'm not. I'm thinking, God, I'm going to faint. I'm going to pass out. Now, if you know, it's dangerous. I can't. And then all of a sudden, my anus yields. And it feels like it goes up to here. And I'm like, right, it's been lovely. You've been great. Thank you. Shooter. Got that. Must have. Don't remember taking it, but how else did it end up in my house? Unless I bought another one. Now I'm driving home and bang. Bang. Oh, wow. Yeah. It's about a 10-minute drive back to the guest house. Go past reception. Fuck me. I'm in a mess, right? I remember being on like the 2nd floor, and the stairs, I'm on my hands and knees, and I know the clock is now ticking. If I don't sort this out very quickly, I am going to pass out. The fact that I've been awake for a few days might mean that I'll pass out and I'll be out for days. You know, a proper coma kind of après stimulant sleep. with a couple of ounces of meth breaking down inside me. And my room is full of drugs. It's full of all the aforementioned pills and God knows what. So I need to get this out. And so if I can get the meth out, you see, I can have a hit and bang, I'll be back on. Hey, party started again. So I've got my fingers up my arse. I'm in the toilet and it's nowhere to be found. And as I'm doing it, I remember at one point I fall forward enough to crack my head on the sink. I'm like, and it kind of wakes me up. Lucky, really. Look at this. Look how awful addiction is. The fact that I hit my head and cracked my eye open on the sink was a good thing. What an inversion of all otherwise pleasant values. Because if I'd have missed the sink and just fell down, I'd have passed out, and who knows what would have happened then. But my fingers ain't working. It's too far up. I can't go downstairs to get a spoon. I was on my hands and knees coming back up, so I don't know if I'll ever get back upstairs. It's going to be so obvious. I've now got shit all over my hand. Anyway, and soap and tiger balm. Hey, you got a spoon? But I have got a fork. At first, I think about using the reverse end, but it's not enough to it. I'm thinking I can use the tongs, those things, that bit on the fork. If I construct sort of like a robot grabbing hand of some sort, you know. I'm not thinking too clearly. Now, I've had loads of things up my arse during my drugs trade. I mean, it's quite common to store drugs up there, but I remember I didn't shit once for 3 weeks, and my girlfriend had a spoon up there just hacking out concrete. Yeah, nice. So I remember I put the fork in the drawer, you know, the little bit between the drawer and the top of the table to sort of bend these tines, and I sort of make, you know, a mate the other day said, like an emu. I emu it. Americans won't know, we had a bloke that had a glove puppet called Emu, and the assumption is his hand was in it like that, so an emu. And I'm there, and I'm, you know, my eyes are fluttering, and I'll keep sort of gouching out, and no, you've got to get the meth. Get the meth, and you'll be all right. Relatively all right. Pass out. You know, I don't know if it's going to kill me. I don't know, maybe my stomach, my anal acids, is there such a thing? Might break down the meth, and I'll overdose or something, or maybe all the Valium and Xanax will cause, you know, I'm thinking there's two scenarios. Get the meth, get some stimulants, go out into the world, fail to get the meth, pass out, and then who knows. So I'm just desperate, and I'm desperate, and now there is claret. My arse is bleeding. It doesn't take much to make your arse bleed, and there's blood everywhere, and every time I can't say that's the meth. Again, this is double emu. Say that's the meth, I can't just push it because it's just pushing up. I know that as soon as I feel it, I've got to go round it and then sort of up and try and get a... Do you remember in the Crack Diaries when I said addiction is characterised by a lowering of standards? Can you imagine me in Patong with a fork up my arse, now about 3 fingers deep as well, worried that I might pass out. And now, with the fork and hand up my arse, if I pass out now, imagine if I fall backwards and hit my elbow. The fork might come out of my chest like, like aliens. And the local police will find me with my own hand up my arse, out my chest, with a shit of methamphetamine. Hello, Mrs. Dangerfield. Yeah, we found your son. Shit in there. Anyway, after some playing and a lot of... you know, I didn't just have the fork. I had my natural wish to expel foreign objects from my anus. I managed to get it out. Yeah. Phew. Now, when I get it out... Hang on, I need a bit of this. This is emotional. When I get it out, it's covered in shit and blood. Obviously. I mean, and thankfully, because if it wasn't, I mean, what the hell? Am I a robot? Am I a replicant? No, I'm a body with organs. And it's covered in blood and shit, so I know that I have to put the tap on drip, drip, because I don't want to just wash it all off because I might get the methamphetamine wet. And like I say, I'm not from the meth culture. I don't know whether it might just all break down and disappear. And, you know, I want to slowly take the sellotape off, but it's just shit and blood. So I'm sort of just drip. And then, have you ever seen Time Team? I don't know what it is in America, but like it's an archaeology program, and they find something in the mud, and they're just gentle with a paintbrush. It was like that. You know, the effort and money and the near death that had gone into getting this. I was being really delicate with it, like it was an archaeological exhibit. And at one point, I remember thinking, you know, before I got through the poo and blood, I remember thinking, because I'd been at it for about 10 minutes. I thought, I hope this is the meth. And I'm not just cleaning a bit of shit. Imagine just getting smaller and smaller. Bing! Oh, better find another one. But luckily it was the meth. So I got all the blood off, slowly unwound it, and eventually got the meth, and bang, had a pipe. And it was like, whoa, thank fuck for that. Now, then there's a knock at the door. I think I'm back on track now. And then there's a knock at the door. I sort of sneak round. I put a bathrobe on. Speaking of which, I'm getting a bit hot in this one. And she says, "The 2 girls you ordered are here." I haven't got a fucking clue. What? Hey? What? And of course, I should have said, no, cancel it. Here, I'll give them some money. And I was like, yeah, send them up. And I'm in the bathroom, I'm trying to tidy up, and I'm just smearing shit everywhere. And there's like claret in the sink, and it stinks. And I remember I heard them knock at the door. I'm like, come in, sit on the bed. And I'm fucking hell, it's a bit heavy in here. And my really terrible cleaning up job, what I remember most is when I opened that bathroom door. I'm not a great scientist, but it was hot. It was hot in there, and it was shitty, and it was bloody. And the main room with the aircon was cold. And when I opened the door, you could feel the shitty heat be sucked out of the bathroom right on these 2 girls. You know, both of them just went, whoa. It was like the bathroom had farted on them. Oh. So that's pretty much what happened. I mean, you know, God knows where I got the linen suit from. God was the suit, you know, the Ritalin, Xanax, Valium, all that lot, shards I understand, but cigars? What kind of relapse is this? Oh, yeah, I'm a gentleman. I'll have a linen suit. Fucking hell. Now, however, that's not quite it. Because I rang my sponsor. You know, like I say, I lost about 3 stone. I was in bits. I'd spent all my money and more. Yeah, I'd spent some of the business money. I'd gone into overdrafts I didn't have. Just showing off, just being an arsehole. Just lost, just running with it. All this from doing my back in the gym. Yeah, addiction, eh? 1 tramadol, 1 Valium. There's a saying in NA. I don't have a lot of time for NA, but I like a lot of it. 1 is too many and 1,000 is never enough. Oh yeah. Well, 1 was too many and 1,000 was enough. But after a couple of weeks, because I still had like 3, I mean, that was all over Christmas, that was. Fuck knows, I didn't see Christmas. I was too busy shooting naked children. But after a few weeks recovering, and you know, I didn't feel good. I had to tell my mother, because she knew I'd been clean for years, and I felt really ashamed and guilty. You know, I was a secretary in NA meetings. I used to run the big meeting in Soho, like 80 odd people used to go every Thursday lunchtime. You know, people knew me as clean and would come to me for advice. And no, I hit the methamphetamine in Thailand, and it was actually a very humbling experience. You're just a drug addict, even when you're clean. Don't get above yourself, son. You've only got a couple of years clean. I know people who've got 20, 30 years clean. They pick up a glass of wine one day, same as that. 6 days later, they've lost their family, their house, their job. It's progressive. I don't believe addiction's a disease. I believe it's a choice. But I do believe some people are predisposed to making fucking awful choices again and again, and in the face of so much to suggest you shouldn't. So when I'd recovered, I don't mean recovered, but when I started feeling better, I was like, man, I've still got to write this fucking Edinburgh show. That's what I come out here for. I mean, I've had a nice time. It's been lovely. But I got to write this Edinburgh show, and I remember thinking one day I had about a week left, and I thought, fuck it. Just have a few Viagra, go out, and just have a crazy day with the whores and see what happens. So I had a couple of Viagra and nothing happened. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So I had a couple more and nothing happened. It'd been like 2 hours. And I was like, hang on, these usually work a treat with me. Maybe all the drugs and all what had happened had done me up so much that they weren't working. So I had about 5 in the end, 5 more on top of them. And I went to this brothel, fuck me, then it worked. And man, I was just going from one brothel to the next, just going in there, one to get another girl involved. No, both just look at me, I'll just wank it and slap it. Can you kick me in the arsehole while I'm wanking? And I could not get rid of it, and it was mad frustrating. You know what Viagra's like anyway. I was pulling it, I was coming, but then pulling an erect willy out of women. It's just not right. And I remember they were going, you had sex medicine? That's what they call it out there. I was like, no. Yeah, loads of it. And then I remember I was really getting bad flushes, and I could see all this turquoise, the colour of the pills, and I was thinking, this is going to kill me. My heart was going blah, 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 blah. And then I thought, oh man, after all those fucking drugs and the meth and all that, your heart's too weak, that's why this isn't working, it's not working, your heart. And I thought, I've got to calm my fucking penis down. I remember having these 3 girls, 3 whores, and I was just wanking and it weren't working. I was going, just spit at me. And I wanted them, I apologise. And again, this isn't something I've done before, and it's not something I've done since, but I was just fucking desperate, and I wanted them to be all dirty like schoolgirls going, you know, like when you just get kids spit on you. But they were like picking up water, and they were going, oh, and they were going like fountains of like little cherubs. I was like, fuck this. So I fucked it off. I got no stories from all of that. And I remember going home with this massive boner, relatively massive, I should say. And I got back and I thought, I've got to do something about this. And I got the instructions out, found the English bit, check it. I'd had this throbbing boner for 16 hours. My face was red and flushed as fuck. I was shaking and I could not get rid of it. In the bit of paper it said, in the unlikely circumstance that you have an erection for more than 4 hours, please contact your medical health centre. And I was like, shit, that's 16 hours. So I rung up Patong Hospital and I got through to someone who could speak English. And I said, hello, I said, look, this is the problem. I said, I had like, I don't know, 7 or 8 Viagra for breakfast. No shit, the bloke went, ah! No way. I was like, yeah, okay, great. And I said, the thing is, man, I cannot get rid of this fucking erection. I'm terrified. And I was, you know, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. My heart, I thought I could see it through my chest moving. And I was terrified. And he was just laughing. At one point he went, wait there, and I heard him turn around and go, and a whole room full of people go, I was like, fucking hell. Then he got back to me and he said, okay, he said, I need you to make a little water bath. So I had this can of Coca-Cola and I've got a pair of scissors and I've cut it, and I don't forget I'm shaking. So it's kind of, you know, again, another weapon. But I've cut it in half and I've got my thumb over the hole, and he said, now fill it with cold water. So I've put cold water in it, and he went, now bathe your penis end. I remember he said, I've got him on the phone and I've got putting my cock end in this tin can of cold water. And I must say, and he was going to be gentle with it, be nice. I was like, oh. Now in fairness, it was quite sweet actually, because my cock had been through a lot. It had been through a lot. And I was sort of stroking it, going, calm down, just please calm down. And it wasn't doing anything, nothing at all. Threw the tin can away, I went, mate, that ain't working. Of course, as soon as I let go of it, it was like, bang. And he said to me, all right, look, he said, don't worry, panicking is not going to help you. He said, if you come up to the health centre, he said, what we do is we'll put a needle into your spongiform, which is the bit that makes your penis erect, and we'll draw out the blood. And interestingly, when he said that, it's all right, mate, I'm done. Oh no! So there you go. And that weirdly, that ended up being the show. That was that show. It was advertised as Sex Tourist. It was sold out every night. The queue went out the building. Feminist complaints. The Feminist Avengers sent me an email. No, sent me a parcel. They sent it to me, Jim Jeffries and Jimmy Carr. We all got one. And it was a courgette, a real life courgette. And it said, to the comedian that thinks rape jokes are funny, go fuck yourself. No rape jokes in that show, is there? Just me being a prick. But yeah, man, Feminist Avengers. You can find them on page 280 of Google. Well done. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed Sex Tourist. Thanks a lot. Don't forget the Patreon if you want to be involved in the publishing of my novel. If you can't, I feel like you don't want to contribute to the Patreon, no problem. Share the fucking shit out of my fucking videos. Bye.